All right, let's see. How prosecutors are proving their case in the Diddy trial, week 1.
All right, I'm Nate the Lawyer, and this is a law channel, and we are about to break down the first week of the Diddy trial.
It's Hassan's favorite
buddy. It looks like Diddy's going to jail for life. Let's break it down.
The guy who wants to go to their parties and then get caught up in illegal activity.
All right, so with this video, I want to explain to you what the charges are in the Diddy trial, how the government is going about proving those charges, and whether they've been successful at demonstrating any of this criminal activity. Now, if you're watching this video, I assume you know who P. Diddy is, so I'm just going to get straight into what's going on. So when we're talking about P. Diddy's criminal trial, we're talking about 5 charges, but really 3 separate crimes. Okay, so the first count is racketeering conspiracy. To prove racketeering conspiracy by the government, you need to know the existence of the enterprise, Bad Boy Entertainment, or for instance, if it's the mafia, you got to prove the mob actually exists, or if it's a street gang, you prove the street gang exists, the Bloods, for instance. You also need an agreement to participate by the defendant, and you need a pattern of racketeering activity.
Right, now, with this last one, this pattern of racketeering activity,
you may hear the term RICO predicates.
You could use it as probable cause for a warrant, couldn't you? Evidence of extortion, intent to defraud, those are RICO predicates, right?
Now, there are about 23 different crimes that the government's alleging that P. Diddy did, and here are some of those crimes, like sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And the government, again, just has to prove 2 of those things to get a conviction of the RICO statute. Then you also have sex trafficking by force, which we are going to go over in detail. And we also have transportation to engage in prostitution, which is known as the Mann Act, which essentially means you're paying for prostitutes to cross state lines. And we'll go into detail with that count too. So at the end of the day, these 3 individual charges and 5 counts overall.
Yeah, so this is what, these are the things that have to be proven in the court of law. Or, well, the prosecutors have to prove, right, that Diddy was doing these things, right? And for the first witness they have, Cassie, well, they haven't proven anything here. I guess for Cassie, I guess you could say count 3 and 5, but at the same time, I don't think you can get racketeering, right? It's hard to say, because with Cassie, she was like a willing participant, right? She consent, right? She had a relationship with Diddy at one point, and they were boyfriend and girlfriend at one point, and then so there was like consent, and I don't know. It's hard, right? It's just like she consented and not consented something. I don't know, man. It's
are what the government is seeking to prove to put P. Diddy away for life.
Rough.
Now, to prove their case, the government has started with calling 5 witnesses this first week. The first is Israel Flores. He's a former assistant security director at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, and now he is an LAPD officer. Now, the Intercontinental Hotel is where Diddy was caught on video beating Cassie, and he's the security guard that responded to Cassie's call for help, and he's also seen in that video. Next up is a man named Daniel Phillip. He's a former male escort and exotic performer. Now, being a male escort, Phillips testified that he participated in multiple freak-offs involving Cassie, and that he felt that Cassie at sometimes was not a willing participant in the freak-offs. Next, you had Diddy's longtime girlfriend, Cassie. She's a singer, model, and she was the one who participated in a lot of these freak-offs. She said too many to count. Now, she is seen on video getting beaten by Diddy,
made iconic
testified to the abuse, the sex trafficking, and the prostitution that was going on from state to state. You also have Dawn Richard, who was a former member of Danity Kane, the girl group created by Combs, and she also was in a group with Combs himself called Dirty Money, and she saw some of the abuse that occurred between Combs and Cassie. And last but not least, you have an agent from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. These are the people who conducted the raids on Diddy's houses, and they testified to the drugs and all the other debauchery they found in the house. All right, so now you know the witnesses. Let's get into the charges.
That looks like
First,
a lot of
let's
coke
start with the
and meth.
easiest one to prove, which is transportation to engage.
He doesn't
in
have the pink
prostitution.
toothsie.
That's 18 U.S.C. section 2421, and they are counts 3 and 5. Now, this is known as
you don't got
the
some of
Mann
that pink
Act.
shit.
Now, the Mann Act has two elements the government has to prove. One, you transport someone between states, and you intended for that person who you transported across state lines to engage in prostitution. So let's start with the first element, interstate transportation, which is, I think, easy to prove. First, they had Cassie go up and describe how she was being flown to multiple states by Diddy to LA, NYC, Vegas, Miami, all for these freak-offs. And then you also had Daniel Phillip, remember the sex worker?
Guy,
He described being brought to various cities by Combs and Cassie request.
Yeah, that's why I was all like,
for
I mean, you
sex
could say
on those trips.
He was doing the right
it seems like the government has put up
stuff,
some proof that, yes, people were transported across state lines by Combs knowingly. Now, they had to prove the intent for prostitution. Well, how did they do that? Well, again, they brought Cassie Ventura off, and she testified that she was involved in these freak-offs, the sex parties. They were planned by Combs. There were multiple sex workers there, and she recounted specific events
Not only
in New
that,
York
but she was
and LA
abused, too.
where these sex acts occurred. Also, they had Daniel Phillips testify about the sessions and the sex acts that he had in various cities, in various hotel suites paid for by Combs, which confirms the interstate travel for prostitution piece. Remember, he said he was paid to have sex with Cassie for these freak-offs. So when it comes to transportation to engage in prostitution under the law, it seems like the government has checked both those boxes. They have two witnesses and more that are going to testify about the freak-offs being flown out to multiple states to have commercial sex. Next, we're going to look at the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion charges. How has the government in this first week put on evidence to
I don't
show
think they have
this?
that one.
The elements for sex trafficking is the defendant knowingly
they
caused
have
a
the
person
other
to
one,
engage in a
yes.
commercial sex act. The means of coercion was either force, threats of force.
I mean, you
fraud,
could say
coercion,
you could say some
anything
of
that
it was
would get
force, and then you
someone or
could say
force someone
half
to
of it
engage in
wasn't.
a
So it's
commercial
like
sex act, and then it had to be done.
I don't know what you're
state lines.
I don't know
So
what
let's
they're
start with the
going to
first
say.
element.
I mean, you
knowingly
could.
engage in sex
I mean, at that
trafficking.
point, it's
Have
like
the government put on any
I think
evidence
you
to
have
show
to
that
say, yeah,
Diddy
it's
knowingly
forced.
caused a person to engage
Because
in
some
commercial
of
sex
it was
acts. Well,
forced.
just before we get into that,
Even
let me
if
define what a commercial sex act
some
is.
of it was
A commercial
consenting,
sex act
but
is any sexual
all in
act
all,
in exchange for
you-
something
you-
of value.
you were
Money,
forced in some
drugs, housing,
positions, yes.
career opportunities. So how did the government show this first week that Diddy knowingly caused someone to engage in commercial sex acts? Well, they put up Cassie Ventura, and she testified that Combs was the one who orchestrated the freak-offs, watched, recorded, gave instructions, paid the escorts. Even though Cassie didn't receive any payments, she said her career opportunities or her job was in jeopardy because she was expected to participate. She was flown to multiple different cities and complied out of fear. Also, we have Daniel Phillip, the male escort. He testified that he was paid about $4,000 in some instances to have sex with Cassie on multiple occasions in multiple different states. He claimed that Combs in the room directed them, sometimes recording. These sessions took place in hotels. He did everything from the payments, the setup, the location. He also confirmed the transactional nature of all this. And he said, quote, Diddy gave instructions. He directed us like a seed. He wanted to see something specific. So, does this prove that Diddy knowingly caused people to engage in commercial sex acts? Well, the government thinks so. Now we're going to move to the next element, means of coercion. Now here the government has to prove that there was some force, threat of force, fraud, or coercion to essentially get the person to engage in commercial sex acts. And here prosecutors focused in on that force, threat of force, and coercion aspect of it. For instance, Daniel Phillips, he said that he witnessed Combs physically abuse Cassie. He noted Cassie was emotionally detached, visibly uncomfortable during the sex. Quote, he said she looked like she didn't want to be there. He also described the intense control that he had about the directions and watching and recording every time. And even on top of that, he said he feared Combs too. Now, his testimony seems to corroborate the both physical and psychological coercion that Combs initiated to force Cassie to continue to do these particular sex acts. Then we also have Cassie Ventura's testimony about how she was physically abused, how he kicked her, punched her, dragged her, stomped on her head. She said that the freak-offs were not
fucking
optional.
like soccer kicked
I didn't want
her
to
in a
be there,
sense.
she said. But I didn't feel like I could say no. Combs even used what's known as emotional manipulation. He threatened her music career, which is coercion. He cut off her financial support, again, coercion. He forced her into isolation, again, another form of coercion. He supplied her with drugs to keep her compliant, blackmailed her, and recorded sex tapes. Quote, he told me if I left him, he'd release the tapes and destroy me. Now, also to show the physical force nature of it, the prosecutors also showed the video of Combs beating Cassie for trying to leave a freak off. And they also had another witness who saw the beating. This was security guard Israel Flores, who's now an LAPD officer. He responded to the 2016 assault and said Cassie had a black eye, was crying, and was shaking, and she wanted to leave. Again, that shows the force part of forcing someone into sex trafficking. Combs tried to stop her from leaving, again, physically, so that's force again. Combs' demeanor was described as cold and dangerous. The security guard said he stared at me like the devil. This shows, again, physical violence and emotional control, coercion, threat of force, and force itself, all on video. And then the prosecutors called another eyewitness to the physical abuse that Cassie had to endure, and that's Dawn Richards. She was his band member, remember? And she said Combs attacked Cassie with a skillet, punched her, kicked her, and dragged her upstairs by force. It was witnessed by multiple people, including other bandmates. And then to intimidate the witnesses, the next day, Combs allegedly locked them into a recording studio and told them the abuse was just passion and warned not to speak about it, implying that there would be consequences if they conveyed this to anyone else. So these three witnesses definitely spoke to the means of coercion. They talked about the force, the threats of force, and coercion, all supporting Cassie's claims. Now, for the last element, that's Commercial Sex Act, I think it's clear that these people were paid to go from places like New York to Miami, or from Miami to California, to engage in these freak-offs, and that would be commercial sex acts across state lines. So now we've shown how the government is trying to prove transportation to engage in prostitution. We've also shown how the government is trying to prove sex traffic by force, fraud, or coercion. Now let's look at how the government is trying to prove the racketeering conspiracy. Now, for racketeering conspiracy, first you have to prove the existence of the enterprise or the mob or the gang. And here they're saying the existence of the organization is Combs Enterprises, Bad Boy Entertainment.
Yeah,
these are the companies and
music label
that Combs
and
used to facilitate his freak-offs and his sex trafficking. Next, you're going to be looking for whether there was an agreement to participate. The defendant had to know this negative stuff was going on. He had to know the freak-offs were going on, know the prostitutes were being paid and flown across the country. Have the government, or can the government prove this agreement, or that the defendant knowingly agreed to participate in these criminal activities? Now, the last element for the racketeering conspiracy is you have to show a pattern of racketeering.
Right, they're trying to say that his his music record company and his what was that? His cologne company are part of the racketeering, right? Huh? I guess if they're promoting these escorts, if you will, right? Cassie and right all those other people he's right employing, right? I guess you could say that.
Activity, meaning that there's at least two acts of what they call RICO predicates. They're also known as racketeering activity, and they had to have occurred within the last 10 years. Now listen, that's just a convoluted way of saying there's a list of crimes, and if we can prove that you committed 2 of these crimes, then you can go to jail for life under RICO. Now, I need people to understand, since this is a RICO conspiracy, Combs doesn't even have to know if any of those other crimes are actually being committed to be held accountable under the RICO conspiracy statute. So now let's look at the list of crimes that the government is alleging that P. Diddy Combs has committed that falls into this pattern of racketeering activity. Now, I put them in a nice chart, and this is from the indictment.
Oh, wow.
You got kidnapping, arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, sex trafficking, prostitution, transportation, drug distribution. Now, from this list, the government only has to prove 2 of these things happen.
Sorry, let me go back. So this is the list. These are basically all of the charges and right indictments, the statutes and everything, list of crimes. Did he do it? Did he do nothing, or did he do it? Hmm? What is the case? Did he do it or did he not do it? Did he do it?
Drug distribution. Now, from this list, the government only has to prove 2 of these things happened within the past 10 years from this enterprise. Now, from this list of charges, the government, I think, has for sure proven transportation for prostitution. They have the prostitutes up there saying, yeah, we were traveled from New York to Miami to engage in these freak-offs and get paid for it, right? So 13G seems to be well on its way to being proven. And then we also have the sex trafficking allegations. We not only have Cassie sex trafficking.
I'm gonna get for thumbnail. I'm gonna get one.
We have some other women. Now, what about 13H?
I want to get one of the
drug distribution. There were drugs at these parties. Well, the escort and Cassie testified.
Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, we should. Yeah, these guys too, dude. Apparently, right? This was the guy. This was the guy that got into the fucking police body. Right, there's the police body cam footage of this guy who's just like schizoing out. Right, he was like drugged out or something. This dude was cracked. He was like drugged out of his mind or some shit. But yeah, this is the guy. And then you had this person too, who was also another. Wait. This is the bodyguard, I think. But yeah.
To it. The raids on Diddy's homes. The Homeland Security person also testified that
two of Diddy's kids, like one of his older sons and like one of the younger ones, I think. I don't remember. But it's either one, I forgot which one, but one of them's in a has a court trial too for what was it? I forgot what it was, but he has a court trial as well, pertaining to I think the not Diddy, but a different case.
They found illegal drugs in Diddy's properties, along with the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What about bribery of a witness? The hotel security guard said that Diddy tried to hand him a wad of cash and told him to keep quiet. Well, Is this bribery? And if it is, that's a RICO predicate. Now remember, the government doesn't have to prove them all. They just have to show 2 of them.
Yeah,
and I think
they just have to prove that he was trying to do it with 2. Right. They don't need to prove it with just all of them. Yeah. Just get the 2 easiest ones you can get them on. It's like, yeah, he tried to do that. And then if they don't like those, they could just go to some other instances where it's like, come on. You didn't like these 2, but we have these other 2 instances, right? So it's like, yeah. That's just how it goes. As long as the prosecutors have the ammunition, they will use it.
Way to showing more than 2 of these RICO predicates in the Combs case. And now, it's important
same
to
with the defense. They should have enough ammunition to try and protect Diddy.
So we have a lot more to go. And then we also have the defense putting up their witnesses to show that this didn't happen. Or
look, you're at an uphill battle with this one just because of what's been with all the information that came out on Cassie and the abuse and some of that stuff, right? Yes, it's an uphill battle for the defense.
This may be a mistake. But listen, if there's anyone out there saying that the government hasn't proven anything, hasn't shown anything, it's essentially just a disaster, they don't know what they're talking about. Because if you just take the elements and the witness testimony and see what the government's trying to do, it's clear the government is on its way to what looks like a conviction that can put this man in jail for life. And even if you don't believe Cassie,
the only reason why I said
witness
the stuff
saying
back
something
on
similar happened
the other times
if you
was
don't
because
believe
it's
the
like,
one
well,
escort,
I mean,
guess
they're
what?
still
They have
going
a
through
whole
the
bunch of
trial.
other escorts coming
This
to
is just
testify
one witness.
about their experiences.
Or-
So
right?
this is just not
Yeah, and
a
they still have to
one
get the other
witness
witnesses.
case. The government has given themselves a whole
Or at least this
bunch
was
of
one
avenues to
witness
gain a
that had,
conviction in
right,
this
other
case. And again, like I'm going to say
witnesses
it,
tied
I
to
think
her.
transportation to engage
But
in
then there's like
prostitution,
5
I think
other
they've essentially
witnesses
proven
that
that.
have
And the more people they
tied to
get
this,
on to
right?
show that
So it's
they
like, ooh.
transported them from different
This is a
places across
long-ass
the country
trial.
to engage in freak-offs, they have that in spades. The counts of sex trafficking by force, you may want to quibble about it, but I think they are either close to convincing a jury that they got that, or they've already done so. And the racketeering conspiracy charges, if you agree with count 2, that transportation to engage in prostitution, and count 3, the sex trafficking
how long
by
is
force
this
has been
federal
proven,
trial?
then it essentially gives you
Right.
the racketeering conspiracy as a bonus.
I thought it was supposed to
Now,
be a long
if you guys
trial.
don't agree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comment section. Say, hey, Nate, this is all wrong. I believe that the prosecution has proven nothing. Because if you do, then I'll just say it. I don't think you're looking at this trial. You may be watching a trial, but you're not watching this one, because it's very clear that the government is methodically laying out the elements for all of these charges. And right now, I think Diddy has a real possibility of facing life in prison
given
without
what's
the
already
possibility.
came out on
And that's
Gazzy,
what
yeah.
he's facing in these charges. This is not a joke. And we have a lot more that the prosecution is still putting on. This is week 1, people, and I think it's already bad.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
with that
he-
being
so he
said, don't
says it
forget,
there.
like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff if
This
you
is
like
just week
this
1. So you
breakdown.
just
My name is
basically
Nate the
summed it
Lawyer,
up
and
there.
I'll see you in
Just
the next
week
breakdown.
1, there's still more stuff
Peace.
that's gonna come out. But yeah, it's still not looking good for Diddy, right? It's not looking good. Right, his didn't do nothing is looking like he did do something. Alright. He did do something.
The government...
I'll get this picture to you. I would... I don't know if I should get the picture of him, like, standing so fucking menacingly over her. I feel like that's such a fucking bad image to put. I feel so bad doing it, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, oh man, he's an asshole. I don't know what to say. It's right, this one. It's like, Jesus, fuck, man. I don't know what to do. Should I use it or not? Like, oh, fuck, man. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. It's not looking good for him. Alright, anyways. Nate the Lawyer. If you want to check out his coverage when he gets it. He also does other coverage on other stuff too. But yeah, there you go. Did he do it? Who knows? We'll see. I was like, he's looking like he did it. Looking like he did it, but you know, innocent until proven guilty, right? He still has to go through the court. And the court system he shall get, alright? He wants his due process, he's got his due process. Alright, what do we got here?
Cool. We got you on video. We got you, your vehicle.
You, your vehicle?
What'd you do over there at her house?
I spray painted on her house.
Why?
Because she's a
fucking
asshole.
spray
On April
painted
10th,
an asshole on her
2025, a
house.
woman in Westlake,
Why?
Ohio, wakes up to find crude insults scrawled in black spray paint across
That's
the
my
outside of her home.
son.
As the investigation unfolds, authorities identify a suspect who appears to be driven by a deep personal grudge.
Why would you
I'm
do
pissed
that?
off at the
The
I was
following is based
pissed
on
off
official
at the
police
bitch.
records, and most of the footage has never been seen before. Please note that all persons charged with
Oh,
a crime are presumed
shit.
innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. At 7 a.m., a shaken homeowner calls 911 after discovering her home has been vandalized.
Westlake 911, where's your emergency?
I just woke up this morning and
they're probably
my entire
gonna
house
just
has been spray painted,
they're gonna probably
and something was done to my
process
car.
him
So
and then
it's
probably make him
spray
pay a
painted in black
fine.
spray paint. I don't know.
Police arrive to find the caller's home in a chilling state, with windows blacked out and the word hole scrolled across the
she
even
even
door, notably
He even spray
misspelled.
painted the windows. Oh, that's fucked up.
Your husband's not here.
No, he's not.
You're home alone.
I'm home alone.
All right.
And I woke up to the.
What's your name?
I'm having
No, it's
a
okay.
panic attack.
Let's go inside and relax. What's done is done. Next
know.
is sorting through it.
And he poured something in the car. And
Yeah,
he was wearing. Sorry, we didn't think
How
he
do you know
was
it's a
wearing
he?
gloves because we have it on the Ring camera.
Oh, sweet.
Inside, the homeowner shares
yeah.
the ring footage
Hey,
with
get-
police,
yeah, get that
as well
footage.
as her
That's
husband's
easy.
suspicions that the man captured on camera
Yeah,
is no
just
stranger.
just give
So
just
my
get
husband sent me.
yeah, just
This
let the
is
police
guy,
officers
and I
see
have
the
him on
footage. They'll
ring
get
camera in
you
the driveway.
all sorted out.
No.
Your husband know?
The
Easy
one thing
evidence.
He said, and he thinks he's being a little paranoid. About a year ago, I had a car accident with a guy. He's never given us any trouble, but he was like, maybe I'm just being paranoid because that was an older guy too.
One officer steps outside to grab a victim statement form, while the other stays with the woman as she calls her husband.
I think it kind of looks like him, to be honest with you.
You do?
Yeah, take a look at it and have them compare. I don't have this side by side, but it's an older guy. Yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to, maybe not, but I think it looks like him for sure. Michael Dietz is his name.
Though they're not direct neighbors, 64-year-old Michael Dietz lives within the same area as the victim. The couple claims that they saw the police at Michael's home the previous weekend, though they were unsure exactly why officers were there.
I'll be able to pull our body camera from when we dealt with him this weekend and be able to be like, oh, yeah, that's him.
Maybe he didn't get any money.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, because the thing is that what happened is he's one of those people that like tries to back into his driveway, right? So I was going, and he came back out on the drive, and he hit me.
She adds that the man was claiming no injury at the time,
Wait,
but
what?
later changed his story
Oh,
with the
you
insurance
mean-
company.
oh, so
the
it's-
officer notices his
it seems
partner
like
hasn't
some kind of,
returned and steps outside to find him talking to the victim's
Some
neighbor.
How you doing?
vehicular
neighbor.
accident.
Oh, I'm so
stuff.
sorry.
I don't know what.
I am so
And my
so
husband's
sorry.
not even home. He's in Chicago on the phone.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm just so sorry. I was telling the officer, I have on my Ring camera a car. I don't know what that means to anything.
Oh, no, it
Yeah,
means
we'll
a
come.
lot.
Yeah, we'll come
Uh,
check
yeah.
it out for sure.
But it was like around 450.
Yeah, because I have it on. That's the guy. that
Oh,
we-
you got the guy.
Yeah, but we don't have the car. We only
I-
have the guy.
Oh
The
my
car
God.
would.
Do you know him?
No.
No, so sorry.
And the
Yeah.
car is fine.
Well, what was on top there?
Yeah, don't touch.
Yeah, don't touch anything yet.
There's foam. What is that? That's whatever he put in my car.
Okay, we'll take it. And
Oh, there's more.
Oh, fucking! Oh, he opened his gas, the gas tank. Oh, fucking on the side of the house too. Oh shit.
Yep, the brand new siding. Oh, and there he doesn't even know how to spell hole either. So he's really intelligent. Sorry.
yeah.
If you're gonna do it, know how to spell.
The homeowner
Yeah.
surveys the rest of the house exterior before
You're
crossing into her
gonna do
neighbor's
it. Do
yard.
it properly.
Excuse me.
I was gonna ask. Okay, hold on. Because they have a Ring cam.
Yeah, we'll yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you pay us for.
I know. I'm sorry.
Let's get you.
That's my husband, by the way.
Tell her to stop doing our job. That's our job.
I know. Please find this guy.
Yeah, we got to put you on the payroll now. Come on.
Sorry.
Back inside, an officer advises the couple to have the vehicle towed, as they aren't quite sure what may have been put in the gas tank.
This is ridiculous.
It's starting to, the pieces are starting to make more sense. Like, this is not like a random hijinks from the kids.
Find this guy. He needs to go to jail.
By 10:15 a.m., officers arrive at Michael's home, where his initial politeness will soon unravel when he learns their reason for the sudden visit.
Hello. How you doing? Go ahead.
I'm on the phone.
You on the
What's
phone?
going
You have
on?
a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me out or in? You guys want to
Yeah,
come
we'll
in?
see what's up,
It's
man.
raining. Come on
All
inside.
right. Thank you.
I mean, no need for you guys to be outside if it's raining. Come on in, man.
All right. All right.
Thank you guys for your service, man.
Thank you.
A lot of you
Oh,
guys are
thank
usually
you guys.
ex-service.
So why is everyone's
you have no
house
plan.
like
He's inside because it's cold
kinda-
outside. So
All
what's
right.
up?
Hey, I'm Officer Salazar. Okay?
Small
Westlake
here.
Police Department.
Okay.
Okay. I'm investigating a vandalism complaint that happened this morning at 4:55 a.m.
I don't even know anything about that.
You don't know anything about that?
No, I've been here.
You've been here?
This is my residence.
Yeah. Well, did you have some issues with the people over there?
No, I haven't been anywhere but here.
Yeah.
I've been here all night.
Yeah.
No, I got up. I've been here. I haven't been anywhere.
Just inside the door, one officer observes a bag with multiple cans of spray paint. They read Michael his Miranda rights before challenging his claim that he hasn't left his home all morning.
The problem is we got video cameras, all right?
They can just touch the bag full of just
us.
paint.
We got you on video. We got you, your vehicle. I'm not saying, you know. So.
I was there then. If you got me on video, I was there.
The officer's next question opens the floodgates, leading to a fervent explanation.
Why?
Because she ran through the side of my truck.
No,
And she claimed
she ran through the fucking
that she was
side of my
going
truck.
30 miles an hour in a 25. She was going every bit of 60, and I still have not yet finished the goddamn, my medical still isn't done yet. She ran into me in 23 in the front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
My truck is turned, and she's trying to drive through the side of my truck. Sir, you didn't have your directional on. Didn't have my directional on. You're driving through the side of my goddamn truck. She rocks 8,000 pounds of truck and says she's going 30,
Right.
30.
I wasn't there for that, but
I know, but when I looked in my big West Coast mirrors, those are semis. My wheels are turned. I got the whole lane, and she runs into the side of my truck. And the next only part of the problem, both of my shoulders are they still haven't looked at those.
This
When I
fucking
drove
old guy is trying to play.
drove myself to
He's
the
trying to
ER,
play the old
I took 3
victim
steps out
guy.
of the rental and collapsed.
Oh my god, he sounds like a
garage.
Hassan enjoyer.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
I collapsed by driving
Oh,
myself
okay.
at a high rate of speed to get there.
Jesus.
They picked me up. 6 men had to pick me up. I don't know,
6
200
men.
pounds. 6 men had to pick me up.
This dude's an asshole.
What'd you do over
What
there?
an
What all, I don't
old fucking
understand.
I'm
asshole.
pissed off at the.
I know. So what'd you do? I don't understand. We're just trying to catch up.
Huh?
I'm
We're just
just
trying to catch
to
up on what's going on. What'd you do over there at her house?
I spray painted.
Oh, Jesus.
Why?
Because she's an asshole.
What else did you do?
That's it. I
Nothing
tried
else?
putting sugar in the car.
What?
Oh, now you got another car for the kid? Oh, you're doing great. I
Nothing
tried
else?
putting sugar in the car.
I tried putting
now you
sugar
got
in the
another car for the kid?
car. What
Oh,
the
you're doing
fuck?
great.
It's
She's
so
losing the
bad
fucking
for your
house.
gas
After my
tank
big
to
chief
just
attorney
put
get a hold of
fucking
her,
shit in
that
there
fucking
like
house
that.
is gone. The 100,000 insurance policy that the insurance covers. Oh,
This,
wait, it ain't
this
gonna
dude
cover
got
near
so
enough.
pissed
'Cause the
off
big-
over
when
some
the 20 to
petty
120
shit. Oh
is,
my god.
100,000 ain't gonna cover it, baby.
Man, it sounds like the
100,000 ain't gonna
VTuber
cover it.
community right now, and Hassan
100,000
and
is
all
scratching
those
the
fucking
surface.
retards.
My pictures that I took, she's on fucking gravel on the passenger side. She never
Always
touched
just
the
trying to
brake.
start shit all
When
the
I looked
fucking
in the
time.
rear view mirrors on the side, she's closer to Detroit. Closer to Detroit. So when I got ran into and I'm stopped, what the
With his confession and evidence linking him to the crime, officers place Michael under arrest.
Is this the bag you brought?
Huh?
Is that the bag you brought the stuff over in?
Even
Yeah.
more. I am here
That's got sugar in the bottom. That's
Even
bad.
more?
So it's
I
on,
am-
on site over to there. Yeah, I don't like her.
Yeah,
I didn't do nothing
I
but
like
I'm
her.
pissed at her.
I'm
I'm
pissed.
still fighting.
You know
and
the
she's
meme-
buying.
Yeah.
I still don't got my medical, and she's buying. She's losing that house.
Do you have any weapons on you, man?
No, sir. I got a big knife over there.
Give me a nice pat down before.
Huh?
He's just gonna pat you down here, search
Oh,
you
okay,
before
yeah, I
we
don't have
take
nothing
you.
on me. I got a big knife, a SWAT knife that's over. It's illegal because it's long.
No, you can have
That's
it in the house.
illegal
Oh, I know, but I
because
mean,
it's
but I don't have nothing
law.
on me.
What? You don't
Sure.
carry? He's asking if
My-
you're
my
carrying
heels
anything
might-
on
I'll
you.
get
Not
it.
Yeah, we'll fix it here.
Thanks, man.
All right, go ahead and turn around.
Officers escort Michael to a waiting cruiser, where a plainclothes officer stands by as backup.
Yeah, here's the bag with a flap. As soon as we
Yeah.
walk in, it's got sugar dripping off of it. The rubber gloves that we found on scene, the giant eagle bags that we saw, and it was full of sugar in the bottom.
I just spray painted the outside. She couldn't.
Basically, this old guy's acting like a fucking kid who just spray painted out of the fuck out of someone's house because they got
See
angry.
out the windows.
Menacing.
Blacked out her windows.
You're not
Dude,
gonna
this
be in
old
trouble,
guy's
are you?
acting like
All
a
right.
kid.
I'm here because you guys helped me. I ain't going nowhere.
All right.
Well, I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, he's an old guy. He's
He
been
says
caught.
running on
He knows
camera,
what he
so
did.
that's all that matters.
They have
Yep.
him on camera. He knows.
I don't know how soon it was picking me up.
so he knew it was only a matter
64-year-old
of
Michael
time.
Dietz was charged with felony breaking and entering,
Oh,
vandalism,
don't-
and misdemeanor criminal damaging.
Yeah.
His bond totaled $120,000.
100,000 ain't gonna cover it, baby. 100,000 ain't gonna cover it.
The case is
The reason is because he might do something stupid again, so they just put his bond up that much, just in case, just so he doesn't do anything stupid.
is still ongoing.
Oh man.